What's up, everyone? Just got done finishing the Challenger up. There's a lot more cars I might to do this, including the R8 here, but also this 2007 Z06. And I figured now would be a good time to do one of these videos I haven't done for a while, that Wash and Talk, where I wash the car and I talk to you guys about how this car came to be. We'll just dive right in here. This car should clean up pretty easily given its use. So what we have here is a one owner 2007 Corvette Z06. I found this from a dealership in, where were they? They're in Florida. And I found this car, oh my god, there's tire dusting on here. I found this car probably late to early fall of last year, and I inquired about it and came to terms with a price and was getting everything going for financing. I got that all approved, but there was a contingency on it that, you know, these older cars are worth more to a dealership and to the market than they are on paper to a lender or to someone who's going to appraise, like Kelley Blue Book or something, for example. They don't take the current market into consideration when they value a car like this. You know, same thing with that 82 Porsche. It's worth whatever someone is willing to pay for it. But I was able to talk them down to a nice price, lower than what they were asking, higher than what this would have gone for 5 years ago. But you know, it is what it is. I either want the car or I don't. And so it came down to the point where it was time to, you know, apply for financing, and all was good except for the amount needed as a down payment. And it ended up being some crazy, like almost 60% of what the car's value, or what the car is being sold to me for. And not being all that willing to, not being too eager to, you know, access my home equity loan just for a car that I really didn't need, that I really wanted. It just seemed odd to me to finance such a little amount on a car. You know, I'm used to qualifying for and paying for almost full MSRP on cars when I finance them. So it was just new to me to have to, you know, have so much required down in order to qualify for a loan. So, sorry, long story short, I ended up bailing on the car, and shortly after that, the dealership put it up like 30 grand higher than what we had the deal written out as. And so I contacted my guy there, and I was like, hey, you know, what's up with this? Is this car sold, or what's going on? Just to inquire about it. And he said, no, the owner wants to sell it for what he thinks it's worth, which is like 100 grand almost. Some outrageous number, maybe it is, but I was like, oh, okay, well, that sucks. I'll keep an eye on it for however long. And I ended up spending the next about 4 months or so chiming in, saying, like, you know, hey, is this thing still available? Can we work out a better deal? And he's like, no, we're going to stick at this price, just 30,000 over what we get a deal at price. And, you know, if it doesn't sell at that, we're going to bring it to an auction, because we were seeing some of these cars with, you know, 30 times the miles as this go for 100 grand, and some outrageous, you know, crazy prices and stuff. Maybe not 100 grand, but, you know, really high. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me know if something changes. And we played this back and forth game for about 4 months until I finally, like, gave up on it, because he's like, nope, we're sticking to it. I'm like, okay, well, let me know if it changes. Nope, sticking to it. And again, about 4 months, we were back and forth on that. And this whole time, you know, it doesn't change the fact that I would have needed just a ton of money down just to qualify for this car. And after about 6 months that has gone by, I finally, my patience was running thin. Not that I needed a car, I just You guys know me, I like cars. I ended up looking at other options. And that is when I ended up looking more towards the classic Porsche. Having always been a fan of the old 964s and older, 911s. That's when I started my shopping for that 82 that I got. And I came across a few. I found a couple, like a 84, what was that, a Carrera S with like 16,000 miles, but they wanted a crazy price. And I found a whole bunch of other older turbos, but they wanted even more. Yeah, what is this shit they have on here? It's greasy. So that's, having given up on this car, not willing to put close to 100 grand into this. I didn't think it was worth it. It isn't worth it. That's when I looked at, okay, well, I'm going to spend money. I'm going to spend money on something that I want. And with those classic cars, it's a lot easier to get an affordable loan because you're paying the way, for example, Woodside works. You have like almost 12 to 15 year long loans. So something like this that would be brand new, you get like a 5-year note. Once it gets to that collectability age, you can really extend that note. But they too need a ton of down payment, not as much as what these guys wanted. But anyway, so I found that 82 from a dealership in Georgia. I think that's where they are. And talked to them for what seemed like forever. It was like probably a month or so, just getting videos and information back and forth, wanting to make sure, hey, I'm going to spend all this money and get something that I want. I want to make sure that that's what I expect. Because I didn't want to, having gone through several classic cars, I didn't want to, get someone else's project car that failed, and I didn't want to deal with all this other crap that comes with the, the ownership of a classic car. Yeah, I wanted to work on it. I wanted to enhance it, and I was willing to put in the time and the money to have all that done and make it my own. So that's why I didn't want to just build one. A, it would have cost a lot more money. B, it would take a lot more time. And I wanted something, yesterday. So I was doing what I do. Shopping around online. Auto Tempest and stuff, and I came across that 82 that I showed you guys, and I was like, okay, I got big plans for this thing. We're gonna make it my own. We're gonna make it super cool, and whatever. So I consummated the deal, and as you guys saw, the car came in. It looked pretty damn awesome. I got all excited. I ordered a ducktail for it. I ordered 911 headlights for it. I ordered I forget what it's called. It's like a night something from the same 911 manufacturer. Tail lights. I was going to modernize the hell out of this thing. Put the what is it? The PCCM or whatever it is. On the replace the head unit that was aftermarket. I was going to replace it with the Porsche one, and I was really excited. You guys probably saw in the video. I was super excited to have that car. So the day comes. I got to bring it to the Porsche Minneapolis. So they're going to have it for about probably 2 months while they, paint, install my ducktails and all the other parts that I had on the way. And I'm on my way there, and you might have seen that picture I posted on YouTube. The damn thing starts to chug on me a little bit. I'm like, okay, something's going on here. It kills on me doing 70 miles an hour down 35, heading towards Porsche Minneapolis, and okay, whatever. Then it turned back on. This is as I'm driving. And it killed on me again. I'm just watching the RPMs. It's like the thing wakes up, dies, wakes up, dies. And I had my wife following me out there so she can bring me back. I texted her, I'm like, hey, this thing's not acting right. Something might happen here. And sure enough, 2 seconds later, the thing just dies. So I'm on 35 going north, and I'm coasting, trying to find a safe spot to pull over. And I end up finding just before the on-ramp to 494, and I'm just sitting there. And I'm like, okay, what the hell? I try to start the car, and it's not starting. It's got power. It's trying to turn over. It's acting like it's out of gas, right? But the gas gauge went down in the week or so that I was driving it, and so it was responding, and it still said over half a tank. So I'm trying to troubleshoot this thing in the middle on the side of 35, and everything I'm doing is just not working. It's acting like it needs fuel. So I'm in touch with the Porsche techs and trying to text the dealership, and we can't figure it out. So I decided to get it towed. So we get it towed, get to the dealership, and I tell the guys at Porsche Minneapolis, hey, they know what's going on. It's texting the whole time, but let's dig into this thing. We're gonna probably end up doing some more work to it than what we had planned, like fuel injection. Maybe it's fuel related. That's the issue. Okay, no problem. So I kicked the wife home while I was waiting for the tow truck. So I needed to get a shuttle or a loaner from the dealership, and end up going home and say, okay, guys, let's call me on Monday, and we'll come up with a game plan what to do. Okay, so Monday comes around, and I get a call from the Porsche tech, and he says, hey, we got some problems with this thing. And I was like, yeah, I know, that's why you had it. And he's like, no, I mean, we got some serious problems. I said, okay, well, tell me what's going on. Now, keep in mind, when I got that car, I spent not 2 months, I spent like over a month negotiating with the dealership, back and forth, getting videos, getting pictures, getting reassurance that this car is in fact what they claim it is. And that was a rust-free, dent-free, Bondo-free body, professionally restored by so-and-so, and they had just a novel, and I mean like a novel, like I had a several-page book of information that documented this car's restoration, and I was like, oh man, this is perfect. This is almost too good to be true. They even reference this in the description. It's not Singer car, but it's that Singer quality at a fraction of the price. That should have been the red flag, honestly. So he sends me this Google link with all his videos and pictures of what he's finding, and he's under the car, he's inside the car. I should have recognized a lot of this, and I did when I was checking it out. But also a lot of it I don't have the eye or the equipment to notice it, because I've used the car, not necessarily classic Porsches. So I'll just start back with the ad. So the ad, the very first, I told you in the one video, the very first line when you talk about the exteriors. And they claim to have what was this? Getty. Getty was the name of the bumper that they claimed was on the car. And the car, came in, and I wasn't happy with how the bumpers looked. They were warped. There was fitment issues. So I contacted Getty, asking, "Hey, is this normal? Is there something we could do to, fix these?" I was willing and asking about. What the hell is that? Trying to make the bumper better. Not blaming them for anything, but I used the words like they seem cheap and warped. So the gentleman I spoke to, I think he was the owner actually, he asked the pictures. And he said cheap and warped are two words that never, I never used when talking about Getty products. So I was like, sure, yeah, no problem. Sent him the video, sent him some pictures, and he confirmed right away. He goes, yep. Those are not Getty bumpers. I was like, huh, interesting, okay, well, I don't really care because I'm going to get rid of them regardless, but I just thought, I should let you know. So then I started talking with the Porsche tech, again, the local one, and talking about what options are, and not really being too big of a fan of the aftermarket stuff. I like to keep things as factory as possible. That's why I got this. You know, there's endless Corvettes out there that are all aftermarket modified, but I'm not a fan of modifying cars outside of really like cosmetic stuff like tint. I'll do exhaust once in a while, but that's all bolt-on stuff. I don't want to go in and retune the computers or, you know, put more power into this that it's designed to have, because, you know, drivetrains can only take so much and they're designed that way for a reason. Just my opinion. So I was talking with the Porsche guy and we're thinking of, hey, let's just order the factory bumpers, which are ungodly expensive, by the way, and we'll paint them to match, we'll do everything, and it'll look just as it did out of the factory. I said, okay, that sounds great. And at the same time, let's also talk about new fenders. You know, let's make this thing look wide and mean, and, you know, it's going to have all this work done to it with the bumpers and the ducktail. I might as well have, like, you know, I might as well have like the fenders and stuff how I want it. So we were just talking about that when he took a little break, and he decided to dive into it even more. And this is where it gets bad. He gets the car up on the lift, and he, you know, takes a look, and he just sees all sorts of problems. I knew we had oil leaks. You know, that was expected. I should add too, you know, I didn't expect this car to be a, you know, turnkey, perfect example of a, you know, 40-year-old Porsche, despite the ad and the dealership saying otherwise. I expected it to have some issues and things that needed some little bit extra attention, but I didn't expect it to be like this. So we saw like bolts and nuts that weren't plated at all, so they were fully rusted, and the rust had made its way towards other parts of the car, despite the ad saying everything on here that had any sign of wear was either replaced or replated. They're very specific. Everything was all, there was no rust, there was no Bondo, there was no anything cosmetically wrong with this car. So the bumpers were the first thing I saw, and the dealership saw all this rust. So we're looking around at some more, and we're seeing just things that were broken, things that were missing. One of the something to do with the brakes was not connected, so it was lucky that it made on the road and the brakes functioned, because something, I forget what it was. That's how uninvested I am in it right now, but there was a huge safety concern there that it was lucky that I didn't end up driving into a ditch. We discovered that the drivetrain in it was from a, what was it? It was like an 83 European spec 911, and the transmission was not what they said it was either. They couldn't figure out what kind of transmission was in there. And keep in mind, we're responding to the ad, right? All the information, the crazy amount of information that was, you know, offered to a potential buyer. That's what sold the car for me. That's how detailed everything was. Come to find out that this car was so misrepresented. I really should have paid someone, or gone myself, paid someone, because I don't know what I'm looking for, to really inspect the car. All right, so as we're going through it, we're finding there's more and more problems with it, and we just came up with this solution that, you know, it's time to, we should just walk away from this project. It's not at all what it was advertised to be. Nor is it something I have any interest in trying to fix, because in order to fix it, it's going to take, it would have taken probably a year, probably $100,000 plus, because the whole thing had to be stripped. This car cleaned up nice. I see one little mark right here. I'm gonna, can't tell what that is. Try to polish that out. Off camera, just spray some CS3 on here. So I ended up working with the dealership, who was very willing to help me after I explained the situation. You know, it was nothing that I don't think they did wrong. I think they were misled to what that car, you know, what it is or what it isn't. And not the owner. Well, I did talk with the owner, but the salesman that I spoke to did a really great job for me. You know, giving me the information, and even in the videos, like I had him look at certain areas, like the front, like I guess trunk latch. I thought I saw rust in one of the videos, so I had him go back and slow it down and send me some, you know, some close-ups of it to confirm or deny if it's anything. It ended up being, what is this? And obviously it ended up being more hidden than what was on the surface. So long story short, there's so much more information. If you guys want more about it, just let me know. I can get more in detail. I just don't want to put the dealership on blast because they do have the car for sale again with the same exact ad that it had when I bought it. And I just don't want to, you know, it's a very reputable dealership. Again, I think that they were just misled as to what the car was, which doesn't really, in my opinion, justify relisting it with the exact same ad that it had when I found it. But to each their own, I guess. So yeah, just wasn't happy at all with the purchase. Still wanting something, you know, I can have fun with that doesn't cost, you know, a real lot of money. I mean, this is a lot of money, but it's not like a new C8 Corvette, for example. So that's how I came across this. So after that Porsche deal got done, which I should add, it's still not done. I haven't gotten the refund from the state yet for the taxes and registration. But everything's done paperwork-wise. Coincidentally, the dealership, Stingray, contacted me like a week later and said, hey, the owner wants to move some inventory. You still have interest in that C6? I said, absolutely. And being all pissed off from the 82 Porsche deal going sour, I was like, all right, screw it. I'm going to access the loan. We're going to shop out the finance a little bit, see if we can get some extended terms, some really good rates, and we were able to make it happen. I am financing more than what I was comfortable, or not, I'm not saying, I did have to put down more than what I was comfortable doing, but I don't know, to get the car, I had to do it. I'm only financing like $27,000 on this thing, which is nice. I paid a lot more than that for it, but I think this will be a keeper. I plan on, after I'm done washing it, I'm going to go around and see if I can find anything like what I found in the hood, try to correct it, and then this thing's got to get scheduled for tint and clear bra, because even though she's not going to get driven a whole lot, she's going to get driven some. I want to make sure that it's protected when it is driven or when it's just sitting here. So I know that was really quick and rather brief explanations of what happened to the 82, but the 82 is no more. In its place is this 07 Z06. And honestly, I was able to buy that Challenger and this 07 Z06 for what that 82 cost. So I consider that a win. All right, I'm gonna go around, I'm gonna take the little blower, I'm gonna blow this thing out, get some of the dripping water out, like the lights and stuff. But again, I wanted to give you guys a quick little explanation as to what happened with the 82 and how this thing came to be. So I'll end this video here. It's 2 o'clock already. Wow, it's been here for 4 hours. I'm gonna wash the R8 before I go, because that thing never got washed before wintertime. And I'll put these guys away, and I'll take that thing home because it's getting wrapped on Tuesday. That thing being the Challenger. And I think that's about it. So if you guys want more explanation as to what went on with everything, just leave a comment below. But I'm going to end this video here. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Thanks.